Evening, y'all. How's it going? Welcome to another Lockdown Live chat. As usual, joined with my awesome co-host, the purveyor of all things Dracona Media, Mr. Alec Lyle. How's it going, man?
It's all good, man. I've got just the 2 7 strings out in honor of our guest Kev, because I know that he loves his sevens. So yeah, I'm good.
Good stuff. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome long weekend and being all festive and social distancing and all that crap. So yeah. Anyway, with that in mind, first week of the new month, a whole bunch of new Lockdown Live chats going down, and today we're joined with a familiar face to the SA Rock constituent. Today we're joined with Kevin Rule of With Dawn. How's it going, Kevin?
I'm very well, and how are Yella Toya?
Yeah. Can't complain.
That's a question, by the way. Anyway. I know it's Afrikaans, but it is a question, so answer it.
Yeah, well, I guess no point in complaining. Nobody really cares anyway, so whatever.
It's all
just
good.
So
get the fuck on with your life.
Exactly. So
like this little guy.
With that in mind, we've always actually, since we started these lockdown chats, we kind of start at what was the beginning of lockdown and kind of work back. So on the pretty much on the cuff of what became this whole global pandemic, you guys were kind of on like a little bit of a high from the Metallica tribute at Ramfest. Yeah. I heard Trevor commended your Hetfield impersonation, so that's always a good thing.
Shot to Trevor. That was cool. Yeah, thanks, Trevor. That's very nice of you. Yeah, he said it amped them up before they went on stage because, I guess main stage wasn't really a lot of metal stuff actually happening. So, that's good. And so very, very stoked about that little comment. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, again, like you said, it was a bit of a variated type of stage, but you guys like represented and, brought a few peeps over to hopefully be like, oh, okay, what other projects are there in? Which brings us to the, I guess, kind of you being involved in the retail industry. After this like mega killer show, the whole world went to shit. You're involved in actual like musical retail. So how was the whole lockdown in terms of that for you, man?
Yeah, it was very tough because obviously the shop itself, none of the shops opened for quite a while. I'm trying to remember exactly. So it was into April, May, probably the 1st of June, I think was when the shops actually opened. But luckily, the company was still able to make some turnover because of the e-commerce that was opened up. I think that was early May, somewhere at the beginning of May. And so at least the company was turning over some money. And luckily for me, I work with the take-a-lot orders. So I was able to work quite a bit, for a long time before the shops opened. So it worked out pretty well, and it's still going strong. I mean, the shops have been open since then, like I said, and we're still hammering it in, making targets. So it seems to be working, because I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of people spending more time at home, and maybe the kids want to play guitar with their dad or their mom, or play piano. So the musical instrument side of things has been keeping going throughout this lockdown, which is great.
I guess it's like the dead air of not being able to really do anything. So people want to take up maybe a hobby or something like that, or like you say, share like some new moments with their kids who probably only played like a, Guitar Hero, never a real guitar.
And then, of course, the other side of things is that really blew up is obviously studio stuff, because everybody's working from home and everybody needed mics, they needed interfaces, they needed monitors. So the studio side of things, because everybody wanted to create their own lockdown projects and stuff. So yeah, a lot of people bought into those items, which is great. Yeah, and it's still carrying on. Like I said, it's just it's blowing up.
No, that's awesome.
Thanks, Alec.
100%, Kev.
Nice, dude. Very nice.
Let's talk with Dawn. You guys have been around for quite a while, and it's a question I'm sure you've been asked multitude of times. The name, the origin story.
Well, yeah. Actually, you know what? I haven't been asked that question for a long time. So it comes from a comic book called Watchmen. Zack Snyder made a big movie about that movie a while ago. So basically, there was a line within Watchmen. There's another comic called Tales of the Black Freighter, and in there, the dude's like desolate on this raft, and he's sailing through the ocean, whatever, trying to live. And there was a line that said, "And with the dawn came the girls," and I was like, "Fuck, that is such a cool little line." So originally, when I first started drawing up like logos and stuff, the name of the band was actually going to be "With Dawn Came the Girls." So, but then I figured, let's cut that down a bit. And the band became With Dawn, and then our first song that we wrote was called Came the Girls. So yeah, that's how that all happened.
Oh, wow, actually, that actually is quite a little bit of a lead in here, because actually now, bringing it full circle now back into 2021, you guys just released your first single in probably just over 4 years. So
4 years.
Yeah, I mean, Driftwood, The Night, a thick, heavy, and melodic thrasher, groove-laden.
Just bounce, bro. Just fucking bounce.
Where did the motivation come into like writing this particular single? Because I mean, obviously, it follows a little bit of a more groove-laden melodic tone than the previous EPs. So yeah, where did this song come from?
The funny thing is that last EP was actually a lot of songs that I'd written before With Dawn started. So maybe that's why it is a little bit more post-metal-y in a way. It's like a little bit more slower and dronier and in some spaces. But I think this one, I think it's I'm not really sure, to be honest. I just remember that riff, the main riff, was we had just got the Misha Mansour 7-string into the shop. And I think that was literally the first thing that came out of me when I touched that guitar. And I was like, you know what, that's fucking cool. I'm gonna use that. Yeah. But so I think, but yeah, it just comes from, with Mike and I, like Mike, our bassist, and the way Josh played drums, like it's just very suited to really getting a bit more bounce in the tracks. We have a lot of songs that are just really long and can, maybe be a bit, not boring, but it goes on for a bit. So we needed a track that was a little bit shorter and a little bit bouncier, just to fit in between the longer stuff, because you can't just play one 10-minute song after another. You need something nice and condensed and just bang in your face. So that was where that came from. Yeah, basically.
Interesting. Well, I mean, the one thing that I read on the YouTube about The Night is that it's the third part in the ongoing Driftwood saga. So what is, pray tell, the Driftwood saga, Kevin?
So the Driftwood saga, it's all about, it's basically a story about, I think it's a couple that's been stranded in the ocean on a piece of driftwood, basically. And, it sort of follows a story about how, the calm first, and you're on the seas and it's a little bit calm, and then the storm comes and then they get separated. And then that's what The Night is basically about, that separation. And then in the fourth one, which will be the last one, that's when it all sort of comes back together. And so basically it's a journey of a you know, a couple's love for each other, keeping them together even though they've gone far apart, you know, that sort of thing. That's what it basically comes down to.
Didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, that's kind of what it's about. Yeah, so it's just a bit of a concept vibe. So Driftwood 4 is going to be called the Dawn. So I mean, in all cultures, the dawn is like the start of something new, more hopeful, and that's, yeah, that song is going to be long though. Don't worry.
You did touch on the fact that when Josh was in the band, there was a certain, you know, like dynamic, certain bounce, so to speak, to your tracks. Obviously, when he left, there was a little bit of a void. So, how challenging was it, so to speak, to like get back into writing new music and performing live post Josh?
Yeah, it was quite difficult actually. I mean, because Josh had been upfront with us, and you know, we knew long before that he was leaving, and so the sort of recruiting wasn't really a big deal. It was like, oh, let's get Damien. Yeah, he's going to be great, and that's what we got, and we got him, and he stayed, and yeah, so ever since. But the problem is though that when after Josh left and we started with Damien, I think we played. Yeah, that's the last time I saw you, Alec, was when we played up in Joburg for Metal Feast 2019.
Yeah,
I think it was that night. Yeah. There was no one there. Yeah, something like that. That's one to do with South African shows. Yeah, so but then the problem is that things just got real stale after that. I was working a lot and just like after hours stuff, and just sort of fizzled out, and then lockdown happened. So we basically had that Driftwood song, the two Driftwoods that we had been working on, and then a whole bunch of stuff that we hadn't started working on. But Damien is such a pro that you know, I'm like, I have this idea. I don't tell him what to play, but I give him a basic, like a beat to show him where things are different and where the parts are, and he's able to just nail it. He just does these amazing fills, and yeah. So basically, all the other songs on this upcoming album were just basically written by me, and just said, guys, this is, you know, we got to get things going. We can't meet up. We can't do this. Let's just get this done. I've recorded all the guitars. I've recorded like MIDI drums just to show you where it's different and what the parts are, and everybody seems to be liking it. So hopefully that's nice. But yeah, Damien is fucking awesome. Basically, is the thing, and he fits in really well with us because he's also super into like a lot of technical stuff, and you know, where Josh maybe lacked that, Damien can pick that up very easily, and vice versa. I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah, Damien is great. Yeah, I'm very happy with him. Hope he doesn't leave us.
It's always good to add a different like set of pace into the band. Also, it's like adds different creative energy. Also, you know, like you can get a bit of feedback now. Like he might not necessarily agree with some of the fills that you might have put in, and then he's like, no, how about this? Exactly. And then you're like, oh wow. So it's always a good thing.
I won't. I'll if he wants to put in the craziest fill in the world, I'll let him. As long as he loves what he's doing, then it's great. And the thing, it does suck that we haven't been able to jam these new songs, because a lot of the times, I mean, you must know, guys, like ideas come from jamming. So the fact that we haven't been able to jam, and it's just basically an idea from me, and it doesn't really get that back and forth, is a bit shit. And I'll admit that it's not the way to go. But I think in this certain time that we're in, and wanting to get material out there, yeah, somebody's got to put the foot down and just say, let's go.
Yeah, no, definitely. I get the whole being a sort of motivating force behind a project. 100%. You just with genres, everybody like debates what kind of music is what, and there's so many sub genres. Let's maybe unpack what you sort of label your guys' music as. I think you've described it in the past as post-NuMetalCore.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that. Yeah.
Is that your take at a new micro genre?
You know what? The whole thing was because the whole idea came from basically Devil Soul to Soul, Deftones, Cult of Luna. Those were like the three bands that really steered the direction of this band at the beginning, at least. I mean, when Mike came in, things changed a bit. There's a bit more periphery styles. There's a little bit of other stuff. But at the beginning, it was definitely a mixture of post-metal, new metal, and post-hardcore. So what else are you going to call it? Post-NuMetalCore. It just made sense. So, and then I've actually seen, I won't say that I claimed it, but I have noticed recently in like gent groups that people are starting to use that term, which is very odd, because I'm pretty sure I came up with that.
It's very possible. I never heard it. I never heard it until until I read it, and I was like, wait. But I mean, like before, I guess you guys were kind of like just a crossover, like new metal groove band. But
yeah,
I guess
just with like longer songs and a bit more technical than normal new metal. That was basically the idea, was to have longer songs with like really like dynamics between light and dark, and just parts that are intertwined from the beginning to the end, and but it's all like based in like a new metal vibe because it's a bit more bouncy, but then it's got like this 5-minute interlude where it's just like one guitar note, you know. So yeah, but it all comes down to the basics, the three basics of what really made the band the sound that we had.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I kind of leads in a little bit into the next question. I mean, obviously, you've been involved again, like we said, in retail within the music industry here for quite some time. Do you think you evolved as a musician within that time? Like, I mean, obviously testing all these new guitars, like all these new sounds. I mean, have you learned a few new tricks that you want to maybe implement into with Dawn moving forward?
That's put me on the spot because I'm not quite sure. I'm sure it has. You know, because I mean, a lot of the guys that work with me, they're all jazz musicians basically. So, but I don't know. I really don't know. I certainly don't think any jazz influences have really come into anything we're doing now. I've certainly had one or two songs that have jazz chords in them, but not really jazz feels. But yeah, definitely. I mean, but I don't think it would have affected with Dawn in any way. I think those, you know, the guitars that I've tried out at work, especially like the art cores or the CR series, that would be more of my my solo stuff probably, you know, because it's more acoustic based. And I play a lot of the acoustics in the room, and sometimes, you know, you pick up a Taylor and you just play a chord and it just sounds like angels' wings flattering. So yeah, I think the influences from work are more suited to my solo stuff than with Dawn. I think with Dawn has always been, you know, the sort of progressive mind with bounce. I keep saying bounce.
Bounce.
It's the word of the weekend, bounce.
Yeah.
So
bounce and Black Label.
Bounce and Black Label. Cheers.
Yes, good job.
Let's keep this work thread going because we're having so much fun talking about that over this time. Hypothetical, I mean, like you said, you've dealt with a lot of people that have been coming in for different types of reasons. I'm sure you had a little bit of an influx of artists wanting to perhaps start more a one metal band type project. So I guess because there are a lot of people that are like a lot of musos that are taking matters into their own hands and kind of taking this thread on. I mean, what would your advice be for anybody coming into the shop, maybe has a little bit of musical knowledge on you know, a general layout and all that, but wants to take it to the next level on a budget, I guess.
On a budget, yeah. I think I think first of all, it must come down to being happy with the songs. I think that if I always say this to like starters or people that want to know how I write songs. It's a very simple thing. It's called don't settle. So you might think that you've written a fantastic song, but I think you should just push it a little bit further. So don't settle for just good enough. Just keep going. Come back if it's shit anywhere after that, but just don't settle for anything. If you feel another part is there, play it, figure it out. Just keep going, keep going. But on the what did you say?
Yeah, like what? The advice that you would
stuff.
give for somebody. I mean, you were pretty much hitting the nail on the head. You were we were discussing what advice you'd give to somebody that wanted to actually do a one-man band type effect.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you get yourself a decent sound card, you're gonna get software with it. So you're going to be able to sit there by yourself in your lockdown stage, and you're going to be able to record riff after riff after riff after riff, and you're going to be able to cut and slice, and you're going to learn like I did. I didn't know anything about sound. The last time I did a sound engineering course was in 2001, but lockdown started. I was like, right, PreSonus. I've got my Mackie thing, a PreSonus Studio One artist, and how do I do it? Learn. So I think you just got to learn. Just learn everything you can. If you've got the time now, you must learn it. I don't know. Yeah, it's just all about learning at this stage. Try and watch as many YouTube videos, get everything down that you can, and then you can help somebody else. That's what I've found. Like I was chatting with other people, and they're like, "Oh, but how did you do this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a very good question. I had to look this up, and it took me ages, but once I got it down, I got it nailed, and now I'm doing it all the time." So, you got to learn that, and recording vocals on your own. Just it's all about learning, this is the right time to do it.
You definitely had the production down on the new single. Who was involved in the final master of that?
That was our bassist Mike. Yeah, so he mixed and mastered that. Yeah.
Epic. It sounds. It's one of the most solid offerings I think you guys have ever put out. It's just on that low end. It's just you feel it, and that's.
But that's
you guys got to maintain that. You think you'll follow up with that? The whole album.
Yeah. So that's a template now. Yeah. So we went through multiple versions of it just to see, put this up, put that up. I would prefer my vocals not so loud, and more reverb or something like that. Or the guitars can be a little bit different, and then the bass, like maybe not as smooth, maybe add some grit. And then, but Mike's got, he's bought tons of presets and stuff, and it's all digital now. I mean, the Gojira neural DSPs, it's killer sounds. Like you don't really have to do much to it in the end. It's all there. As long as the performance is good, the rest is going to follow. Yeah. So that's another thing that people need to learn is the performance. Like when I was recording vocals, like, it wasn't that great to start off with. I hadn't screamed since the Metallica show, and that's not even the screaming that I do in With Dawn. So it's I had to go back and record a couple of parts, but you get there in the end. It's all about not taking things personally as well. So yeah.
Cool, man. I think it's approaching that sort of time where we wrap this whole chatteroo up. Do you have any final plugs that you would like to do? Any merch? You can even plug your solo stuff.
Yeah, my solo stuff's not on Spotify anymore. I was like, it's on Bandcamp. I'm gonna leave it on there, but the Spotify thing is just not worth the money. But everything else with Dawn is on pretty much every platform now, with Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, YouTube Music. It's on all of those things. DistroKid, they do everything for you. So that's all out there. Merch, I don't know if this is the time for merch. Don't know what we're gonna do with merch if we buy a whole bunch of merch. You know, like when this album's done, eventually, you know, maybe we'll press some CDs, but I don't know. It just depends if by that time there's a reason to do it. But yeah, other than that, no, we're pretty chill there. We don't have a lot of stuff going on. Everything we've had is sold out, so, and I just don't really have the money to get any more.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, man, we can't wait to actually, like, hopefully some point after this pandemic hoo-ha has ended, we see you guys back on stage, ripping out some of the new material. Hopefully a new album, maybe even by the end of the year, maybe 2022. Who knows?
I don't know. It might be sooner than that. It might be this year still. I mean, yeah, like I said, all the guitars are recorded. It's just the drums we got to record properly. And we're going to do like 2 songs every week or 2 weeks, something like that. And then just vocals. And then Mike can just do the bass at home when he's mixing it. He'll just record it there. And I don't know. I see it being done in the next 4 months at least. Yeah. What are we in now?
Yeah.
March.
I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah.
We need some new metal. You know, it's good to wave the SA flag high, and I think you guys have a fresh sound that's, you know, I'm looking forward to hearing this evolution here. So yeah, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been killer catching up. Pity you couldn't be in a normal setting, but this is apparently the new normal. So
it is. Oh no, that's fine. But thank you guys for having me. I much appreciate it. Yeah.
100%.
Dude,
man.
it's been so awesome. So yeah, Alec, I guess we're gonna wrap this up for another week. The first week of what is it? April. God damn, this year is just blurring by. Anyway. Guys, we'll be back same time, same place on the interweb next week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That helps us. And yeah, take care, keep safe, and yeah, we'll catch up soon. Chat, guys. Laters.